come along. It's time to learn and sing our song. With fun and games, we'll play all day and learn new things along the way. We'll count the stars and dance in rain. We'll find adventures in every lane. With laughter bright and hearts so wide, on this journey we'll take pride. Let's explore the world so grand, with magic in our hands. Through fields of dreams we'll boldly roam. Together we'll call this place our home. From A to Z and 1 to 10, every moment we'll begin again. We'll paint our dreams with colors fair. Friendship blossoms everywhere. Every story that we hear becomes a part of us, my dear. With each new word and song we sing, our hearts take flight on learning's wing. Let's explore the world so grand, with magic in our hands. Through fields of dreams we'll boldly roam. Together we'll call this place our home. Let's explore the world so grand, with magic in our hands. Through fields of dreams we'll boldly roam. Together we'll call this place our home.
Albert Einstein's childhood was quite unique and full of signs that he would grow up to be a deep thinker, though not everyone saw it at first. He was born on March 14, 1879, in the city of Ulm, Germany, to a middle-class Jewish family. His father, Hermann Einstein, was an engineer and salesman, and his mother, Pauline, had a love for music. From a very young age, Albert showed signs of being different from other children. He didn't start speaking fluently until he was about 4 years old, which caused his parents to worry. Some even thought he had a learning disability. But Albert was simply a quiet, thoughtful child who liked to observe and think deeply before speaking. Even as a young boy, Einstein was fascinated by the world around him. When he was 5 years old, his father gave him a compass, and Albert was amazed by the way the needle moved, even though there was no visible force touching it. This moment sparked his curiosity about invisible forces like magnetism and gravity. He would later say that this compass was one of the most powerful experiences of his childhood, planting a seed that would grow into a lifelong passion for science and discovery. Albert wasn't a typical student in school. He didn't like strict routines or memorizing facts, and he often clashed with teachers who didn't understand his learning style. In fact, one teacher even told him he would never amount to anything. But Albert excelled in subjects he loved, like math and science. He taught himself advanced topics on his own, and often worked through complex problems for fun. He also loved music, especially playing the violin, which his mother encouraged from an early age. Music became a source of joy and relaxation for him throughout his life. Though his early years were not always easy, Albert Einstein's childhood helped shape the person he would become. His curiosity, imagination, and determination to understand how things work laid the foundation for his later achievements. Even as a child, he was already asking big questions and thinking in ways that would one day change the world of science forever. Albert Einstein is best known not for physical inventions like machines or gadgets, but for his groundbreaking scientific theories and ideas that changed how we understand the universe. His most famous contribution is the theory of relativity, which includes 2 parts: special relativity and general relativity. In 1905, he published his paper on special relativity, introducing the famous equation E equals mc squared, which shows that energy and mass are interchangeable. This idea later helped scientists understand nuclear energy and played a role in the development of atomic technology, though Einstein himself did not invent the atomic bomb. Einstein's general theory of relativity, published in 1915, expanded on his earlier work by explaining how gravity works. He proposed that massive objects like planets and stars warp the space around them, and this curvature is what we feel as gravity. This idea was confirmed during a solar eclipse in 1919, when scientists observed starlight bending around the sun, just as Einstein had predicted. General relativity revolutionized physics and is still used today to understand black holes, the expansion of the universe, and the motion of planets. In addition to relativity, Einstein made major contributions to quantum theory. One of his most important ideas was explaining the photoelectric effect, how light can knock electrons off a metal surface. This showed that light can behave like tiny packets of energy called photons, helping to establish the field of quantum mechanics. For this work, he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. The photoelectric effect led to practical technologies like solar panels and light sensors. While Einstein wasn't an inventor in the traditional sense, his ideas laid the foundation for many modern inventions and technologies. Things like GPS systems, nuclear power, and even theories behind lasers and space travel are based on the concepts he developed. His brilliant mind didn't build machines, but it built the blueprints for how we understand energy, time, space, and matter today. His inventions were the revolutionary ideas that still power science and technology in the 21st century. Albert Einstein was not only a brilliant scientist, but also a passionate peacemaker and humanitarian. Throughout his life, he used his voice and fame to speak out against war, violence, and injustice. After experiencing the destruction of World War I and seeing how science and technology could be misused for violence, Einstein became deeply committed to promoting peace. He believed that using science to help humanity was more important than using it to build weapons. Even though he was a physicist, his heart was just as focused on kindness, fairness, and the well-being of people around the world. One of the biggest ways Einstein showed his desire for peace was through his stance against nuclear weapons. Although his famous equation E equals mc squared helped scientists understand nuclear energy, Einstein was horrified by the development and use of atomic bombs during World War II, especially after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even though he had signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt warning about Nazi Germany's potential to build a bomb, he later regretted being part of the chain of events that led to its creation. After the war, he became an outspoken critic of nuclear arms and pushed for global disarmament, warning the world about the dangers of continuing to build such powerful weapons. Einstein was also a strong supporter of human rights and social justice. He spoke out against racism, especially in the United States, where he publicly supported African American civil rights leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois and Paul Robeson. He called racism America's worst disease and believed that all people, no matter their skin color or background, deserved respect and equality. He even offered his home to visiting black students and used his fame to call for change during a time when speaking out could be risky. Throughout his life, Einstein showed that being a peacemaker wasn't just about stopping war. It was about creating a more just, loving, and united world. He believed that education, understanding, and compassion were the keys to solving the world's biggest problems. His legacy as a peacemaker continues to inspire people today, reminding us that true intelligence includes using our gifts to heal, unite, and uplift others. Albert Einstein passed away on April 18, 1955, at the age of 76 in Princeton, New Jersey, where he had spent the last years of his life working at the Institute for Advanced Study. His death was the result of an internal bleeding caused by the rupture of an abdominal aortic aneurysm, a condition in which the large blood vessel that supplies blood to the abdomen and lower body swells and eventually bursts. Einstein had known about the condition for several years, but chose not to undergo surgery, saying he wanted to die naturally and not prolong life artificially. In his final moments, Einstein continued to be the curious and thoughtful person he had always been. It is said that he spoke a few words in German, his native language, but the nurse attending to him did not understand, and those last words were lost. Even near the end of his life, Einstein remained dedicated to his values: humility, simplicity, and a deep concern for humanity. He refused special treatment or fame, choosing instead to live quietly and continue contributing to science and society. After his death, Einstein's brain was removed, without his family's permission at first, by the pathologist Thomas Stoltz Harvey, who hoped to study the brain to uncover the secrets behind his extraordinary intelligence. Over the years, Einstein's brain was sliced into sections and studied by scientists, though no clear answers were found to explain his genius. Despite the controversy, this event reflects how much the world was fascinated by Einstein and his incredible mind. Einstein's body was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in a secret location, following his wishes to avoid a public grave that might become a place of worship or fame. In death, as in life, he valued modesty and privacy, believing that his legacy should live on through his ideas rather than through monuments. Today, Albert Einstein is remembered not just as a scientific genius, but also as a symbol of peace, wisdom, and human curiosity. His life and death remind us that the true power of a person lies not just in what they discover, but in how they use their knowledge to uplift others. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the incredible life of Albert Einstein, a brilliant scientist, a deep thinker, a peace advocate, and a humble human being whose ideas changed the world forever. From his quiet childhood and groundbreaking discoveries like the theory of relativity and the photoelectric effect, to winning the Nobel Prize and using his voice to speak out for peace and justice, Einstein showed us that true genius is not just about intelligence, but about curiosity, compassion, and the courage to ask big questions. Though he passed away in 1955, his legacy lives on in the way we understand the universe today, and in the hearts of those who continue to dream, explore, and imagine, just like he did.
And have some fun. Count to 10, it's just begun. Sing and dance across the screen. In learning land we'll be a team. Learning is a magic ride. Come aboard, let's learn with pride. Shapes and stories, games to play.